RPI hockey, football, and baseball. Just a reminder, WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to WRPI.org. You pick up WRPI's broadcast 24/7. As long as WRPI is broadcasting, you provide that broadcast on our internet feed. Once again, this is WRPI.org. We also welcome those of you watching tonight's game on RPI TV. Check them out over at rpitv.org.
So one thing to talk about is that Gavin Nieto, the starting goaltender for Brown, is third in the country in save percentage with .927 and first in the ECAC. So it'll be tough go for the Engineers to get one by him tonight.
Nieto, also a former teammate of RPI redshirt freshman Todd Burgess. We played together on the Fairbanks Ice Dogs of the NAHL a couple of years ago. RPI skating from right to left across your radio dial here in the first period. You are listening to live coverage of Engineers Hockey, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. Tom Reel and Joe Piscicano with you on the call this evening. Brown with the puck in their own end. Trying to move through the neutral zone. Has it up for Marchand. Tommy Marchand takes a shot and score on the very first shot of the game. Just like that, 20 seconds in, Brown establishes himself with a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, and that's not how you want to start the game if you're the Engineers. A little bit of a defensive zone breakdown as Jared Wilson and Mike Prapavesas had a little bit of confusion on who was guarding the puck carrier.
And that is the fourth goal of the season for Marchand, who is one of the top threats on this Brown team. They have a couple of decent scoring lines tonight, and they start one off with the Marchand, Lafferty, and Berger line getting one real quick. And just like that, it's 1-0 in favor of the visitors. Gottlieb out at center, sends it down into the RPI end. Manley along the near boards to collect. Comes back out to the points, kept in by the Bears. Now the Engineers finally get it back out to center. And Brown will give chase as it goes all the way down the ice for icing on the Engineers.
Yeah, so on that goal, he was able to get a clean shot off due to the defensive breakdown and went right by Marshall.
Got to be ready to play from the very first whistle, from the very first puck drop. Brown certainly was, and they pounce on RPI to take a 1-0 lead in this one in the first minute of the game. Here's Will Riley in his own end. D-to-D pass to Manley on the near side. Back over to Riley, and he'll send it in. That goes all the way down the ice. But they're going to wave off the icing, so the Engineers able to get their line change after all. Brown sends it back the other way. Errant pass picked up by TJ Samek. Now he's going to try a pass ahead for Emil Orval. That goes all the way down the ice for icing on the Engineers. And realistically, that's the third time RPI's iced the puck, and we're not even a minute and a half into the game.
Yeah, so a little sloppy start here for the Engineers, but they'll look to bounce back and get themselves on the board.
Face off to the left of Lyndon Marshall. Nolan able to take it for the Brown Bears. He wins it back to McCardle. McCardle, a D-to-D pass for McGuire. Takes a shot, goes just wide of the cage. And Grant will do battle in the corner. Comes away for the Bears. This is McGuire. He sends it behind. Picked up by Tim Lappin. Lappin was looking for McCardle at the point, but it's intercepted by Burgess, and it's out to center. Brown controlling again. Alex Brink has it to McCardle. McCardle looking for Weberg on a headman pass. He can't connect on it, and that goes down for icing.
Yeah, so now the Bears ice the puck. But one thing to note, the Engineers, they don't seem to be connecting on their passes here to start the game, and it'll be interesting to see them fix that up later on in the game, or hopefully now. In this with this offensive zone faceoff.
Faceoff won by the Bears. McCardle has it over for Trey Dodd. And they send it up ice. They can't control it, but they're still able to get the line change behind the play. RPI with their grind line out there now. Billy Jerry over by the Zamboni doors. He now carries it over into the corner. And Stillwell coming away with it for the Bears. Going the other way now, 2-on-2 comes Brown. Chipped into the zone is by Weberg. He gives chase. And now the puck over in the near corner. Both teams trying to dig it out. And it's Jared Wilson who has it on his stick, lofts it into the neutral zone as RPI changes the lines. Brown bringing it back into the zone. Shot from a tight angle is saved by Marshall, and Prapavessis curls around behind his net, trying to get away from his man. He still has the puck. And he gets a headman pass looking for Liljegren, but it's intercepted by Gutierrez. Now Gutierrez into the zone. Takes a shot, goes through everything, and to the back boards. Engineers pick up now Liljegren coming ahead 2-on-1. Has Troy York with him. Shoots up, takes a shot, puts it just wide to the left of Gavin Nieto. RPI's first opportunity goes by the wayside. Here come the Bears. Moving through the zone is Max Gottlieb. Tried to leave it off for Corcoran. Now it's picked up by the Engineers. Here's an opportunity for Jesper Orval. Comes into the zone. Has a trailer with him. Leaves for Troy York. York takes a shot and batted out of the air by Orval. Couldn't connect on it though, and the Engineers still have the puck in the attacking zone. Shot from the point by Riley goes wide. And now the Brown Bears are going to get it out. Polino just unable to keep it in at the point. Goes all the way down and picked up by Marshall. RPI looking to move quickly back down ice. Jesper Orval shovels it into the zone. First one to the puck is McGuire. Joe McGuire move it into the neutral zone. Bears all kinds of out of sorts. They try to move the puck, so we'll just send it down into the RPI end. Samick just punches it out, but to nobody in particular. That goes all the way down the ice and has enough to be icing on the Engineers.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, they weren't connecting on their passes, but Jesper Orval on that last opportunity had a perfect drop pass there for York. And that's what you like to see from the Engineers, improving as the game goes on.
York with a great shot that ended up bouncing to Orval, who batted it out of the air. That's one if they had gone in, they'd have had to look at it for a high stick, but it did not end up on what was really at that point a wide open cage. McArdle with a shot from the point, actually kind of just a pass into the corner, and it's picked up there by Polino. Polino behind his own cage to Samick. Samick bounces it off of the near boards near the RPI bench. Now Brown trying a headman pass. That's intercepted by Emil Orval. Here come the Engineers. Hayhurst with a shot. That is blocked by McGuire. Okay, still with the puck now. Pass across to Burgess, and a good back check by Josh McArdle keeps him from getting a shot. Brown looking to break out of their zone past the RPI forecheck. Nice hit by Burgess to keep the puck deep in the Brown end. And Brown still looking to get it out. They finally do with a pass up for Berger. Wilson pushes it forward instead. Now we got a penalty coming up on Brown, an elbowing call as McArdle put his man down into the boards.
That's Emil Orval down on the ice right now.
He's down on the near side. Can't really see him, but he's getting up relatively slowly. It's an elbowing call against the Brown senior defenseman. Orval skating off under his own power, which is a good sign for the Engineers as he is up and moving. Just a 2-minute penalty for McArdle, but we'll get the opportunity to see RPI on the power play. They scored both of their goals last night on the power play, and they are currently 12.5% on the man advantage this season. I'm sorry, 12.9% are the Engineers. The Brown penalty kill, 83.6%, so a decent penalty killing unit for Brown as we see the first special teams action this evening. RPI wins the faceoff. Riley over to Orval, takes a quick shot. That's saved by Nieto. Now Orval on the near side to Riley. Riley takes a shot that whizzes just past Gavin Nieto to the side. Engineers still maintaining control of the puck. Hayhurst has it to Prapavessis on the far boards. Prapavessis spins around, heads back to the point, leaves it for Hayhurst. Hayhurst walking in, takes a shot, goes wide and is picked up by Will Riley on the near boards. He turns it over and Brown's able to loft it just out of the zone. Battle for the puck along the RPI bench. Jesper Orval comes away with it. Has it to Riley across the logo. He sends it into the attacking zone. Hayhurst picks it up along the far boards. Now the battle for it is by the Zamboni doors. Comes free to Riley across for Prapavessis. Prapavessis winds up. Looks like he kind of shot past and ends up back at the point for Riley. Now back to Prapavesis. Looking up. Tries to head it back to Riley, but ends up back on the stick of Prapavesis. Now to Riley. Back to Prapavesis along the near boards. Cross ice pass to Hayhurst. 49 seconds remaining on the power play. RPI turns it over, and Brown will send it the length of the ice.
Yeah, so good movement on this power play, and some good opportunities, but on that last sequence, unable to get a shot.
Brady Whiffen is ahead for Todd Burgess. Burgess gets stripped of the puck by Alex Brink. A good back check by the junior from Hamilton, New York. Wastes a little more time. Burgess brings it into the zone along the far boards. Has it taken off of his stick. Brown grabs it, and they will again send it the length of the ice. 15 seconds remaining on RPI's first power play of the evening. They're still looking for a decent opportunity. Here comes Whiffen. He's back for Wilson. Wilson's just going to send that one down into the zone as the power play expires. Puck back out to center. Here is Grant in his own end. Tries to put it forward. It's taken by Wilson. Now Tierney's just off the bench trying to do something with it. And he loses control, ends up back in the RPI end. 12:22 remaining in the first period. 1-0 Brown as RPI looks to move the puck forward. Here is Polino on the far board. Takes a shot saved by Nieto. Puck comes back free to Owen Stout. And now here's Polino coming to the near side. Cross ice pass up to the point for Riley. He'll just stick it down for Stout. Now Tierney's along the near boards. Sends it back to Polino. Polino cuts to the net. Doesn't get a shot off, but the puck just sits there for a moment until it's picked up by Chris Berger. Back to the point, intercepted by Riley. Riley tries to shovel it off to Stout behind the net. And Stout doesn't control it. Brown tries to clear, but it's kept in at the point by Manley on the near side. Now just out of the zone. Manley trying to do battle with Berger. He'll just send it back down for Gutierrez. RPI now with it in their own end. Richards crosses the red line, crosses the blue line. Has a couple of engineers with him. He just throws it wide of the net. And here comes Brown the other way, 2-on-2. Grant is able to hold up his man Weberg. RPI with it along the far boards. They'll loft it out of the zone. Brown touches up and sent back into the zone by Trey Dodd, sophomore out of St. Louis, Missouri. Engineers grab control of the puck behind their own net. Samick has it up for Richards. Richards crosses the blue line and sends it in, and his Engineers get a line change. Jesper Orval leaves it for Hayhurst. Hayhurst crosses into the attacking zone. He'll send it behind the net, and the first one there is Brent Bowden for the Bears. He sends it down ice. Not enough for icing, as Wilson has to collect it near the face-off circle in the RPI end. Here comes Hayhurst. Brings it into the zone, leaves it for Burgess. Burgess gets held up along the far boards, and Jesper Orval keeps it from going out. Hayhurst battling with McCardle in the near corner. 10 minutes remaining in the first period, 1-0 Brown as the Bears come away with it, and they look to counter. Bears lose the handle on a Corcoran. And we're going to have a penalty coming up on Brown as Hayhurst got dumped heading into his defensive zone. Another elbowing call. And for the second time in a row, it's Josh McCardle being called for elbowing.
He's laughing about it a little bit, it looks like.
Well, of the two elbowing penalties that McCardle has taken tonight, you might be a little bit more understanding of the first one, which happened in the defensive zone. But this one, they're going to give it to him heading, as the puck was basically heading into the attacking zone. He kind of dumped Hayhurst near the blue line.
Yeah, and one thing I'd like to talk about is that it's so important after a power play that your team comes out with a strong shift after, even though they didn't score on the power play, that they continue that momentum, and as a result, they're getting another power play.
The officials this evening, Chris Mastrangelo and C.J. Hannafin are the referees, and Jim Curtin and Paul Traynor are the linesmen. And Hannafin had a couple of words with McArdle, who was sitting in the box, just as we await the continuation with the ice crew cleaning things up here midway through the first period. The scoring on the Brown goal was at 20 seconds of the first period. Even strength goal by Tommy Marchand, his 4th of the season, with the assists going to Chris Berger and Max Gottlieb. And that is where we stand as the Engineers go on to their second power play of the evening. They are 0 for 1 so far. Liljegren comes away with it after the faceoff win. Shot by Pravesis gets blocked in front, and the rebound opportunity was scooped up by the Bears and sent down ice. Marshall is there. He backhands to Pravesis, who sets up behind the net. Moves forward for Riley. Riley sends it to no one in particular along the blue line. And the Engineers look all kinds of out of sorts, just trying to get out of their own zone. 30 seconds into this power play opportunity, RPI still looking to gain the zone for the first time. Another errant pass as Pravesis still looks to move forward. He finally just gains the red line and powers it into the zone. Picked up by Hayhurst. Now Pravesis moving in. Has it on the doorstep to Emil Orval back on the ice for the first time after he took the first elbowing call that was put against McArdle. That puck ends up all the way down ice, and Marshall is just going to have to wait for his teammates to finish their change, which they do. Up the ice is Brady Whiffen, now to Wilson. Wilson gains the zone. Moves around for Ferriaro. Back up to the point. Now here's Burgess along the near boards. Shot by Wilson goes just wide. He scored on a similar shot last night on the power play from the very top of the slot. Now it's back to Wilson in the same area. Takes a wrister that goes off the post. Loose puck goes just to the right of Nieto into the near corner. Now Burgess along the near boards. Sends it to Grant. Now Wilson at the top, looking to do something with it. Takes another wrister, goes over the cage this time. RPI back on it. Whiffen in the corner, doing battle with 13 seconds remaining on the man advantage. Here's York getting free. York with a wraparound try. And that ends up out of the zone. That will be enough to kill off the rest of the power play. RPI is going to be 0 for 2 on the man advantage as soon as the penalty expires, which it just has. Wilson goes back behind his own net with it as RPI looks to regroup. Another decent couple of minutes of possession and some decent scoring opportunities as well for the Engineers, but nothing doing ultimately. Here come the Bears back into the attacking zone. Nice cross-ice pass and a quick shot by Max Gottlieb goes into the corner. Brown sends it back in after goes to center momentarily. Manley over for Jesper Orval. He'll lift it up out of the zone looking for Polino. It's just a little bit too far, and it's on the stick of Max Gottlieb. Gottlieb, the junior out of Old Bridge, New Jersey, sends it up for Tyler Bird. Bird into the zone, leaves it for Gottlieb. Now a quick shot, and that looked like Marshall might have gotten a piece of it. It goes right to his right. Now a shot. That's right into Marshall. He makes the save for the whistle. Bird with just kind of a little sniper of a shot. Didn't do much with it. Ended up right in the pads of Lyndon Marshall.
Yeah, and one thing I noticed in this game especially is that the Engineers are finishing every check they get. I have a feeling that's something that Coach Smith has emphasized on, as even when they're just chasing a guy out at the defenseman that's holding the puck in at the blue line, when they chase out to challenge him, they finish their check, regardless of if he still has the puck or not. So it's a good sign to show the Engineers still trying to assert a physical presence.
Shots are 6-3 in favor of the Engineers here with 6:49 remaining in the first period. But Brown has the 1-0 edge on a goal 20 seconds into the game by junior Tommy Marchand.
Yeah, so the Engineers getting opportunities on the power play and at even strength, just looking to convert now.
So as the ice crew returns to the ice, I haven't seen that very often where they come out twice in one period, but face-off will be coming up to the right of Lyndon Marshall. Sam Lafferty, who centers the line that scored the lone goal of the game so far, steps in. Engineers win the faceoff. They have it out to center. Prapavesis is up for York. York sends it just casually in on net, and Nieto's not going to let anyone get too close to that one. He covers up quickly for the whistle.
Yeah, just trying to get a puck on net and have Whiffen and Liljegren crash. So not a bad opportunity there for the Engineers.
Almost a mini 3-on-2 that really never had a whole lot of speed to it and didn't develop very well. Ultimately, sometimes you just want to send it in on net, but kind of led his teammates a little bit too much, and Nieto just scooped it right up. Action now in the RPI end, as Brown has it behind the RPI cage. Ferrario sends it behind the net. Stillwell tries to keep it in. He ends up having it pushed off of his stick and out to center. RPI collecting it in their own end after it was sent back down. Here's Wilson to Prapavesis. Prapavesis passes it up the near side for Liljegren. He just tips it in so that his teammates can change it up. And we have a penalty. A boarding call. This must have been well behind the play, and it's on the Brown Bears.
So the Engineers back on the power play with 5:57 to go here in the first period. And the Engineers get yet another opportunity.
Alex Brink, the guilty party this time. I have to admit, I didn't see this. It must have been well behind the play because that was kind of chopped up by Prapavesis to Liljegren, who was just trying to tip it in for a line change.
Yeah.
Suddenly there was a penalty once the Bears collected the puck.
I heard the boards crunch, but I didn't see the actual penalty.
So RPI on their third power play of the first period. They win the faceoff. Along the near boards is Hayhurst. He sends a nice pass across for Prapavesis, who puts it over the cage. Now we have a whistle and the faceoff coming out of the zone.
Billy Jerry fell on top of Nieto.
That will do it. So just 12 seconds into the power play. The faceoff is just outside the zone. Hayhurst wins it back to Prapavesis. Prapavesis with a pass across for Riley. Riley gets to the red line and sends it down in. Liljegren is the one chasing. He beats McArdle out for it, but McArdle ends up pinning both Liljegren and the puck along the end boards. Engineers come away with it. Hayhurst comes around. Back up to Prapavesis at the point. Now here is Emil Orval up for Riley. Now a quick shot, and that went off of a couple of sticks just to the side. Now a shot by Emil Orval. That went off of the bottom of the post. Ends up near the Zamboni door. Now a turnover has Brown going the other way with a 2-on-2. And Abel is rubbed off the puck by Will Riley. A good defensive play while on the power play by Riley. Engineers now bringing it back up the ice. Liljegren settles, waits. Hayhurst takes a shot right into the number one of Gavin Nieto, who is there for the whistle.
And the Engineers on the power play are doing a great job of sort of getting the puck down low into the dangerous areas in the slot, forcing the Brown penalty kill to become really compact, and then they swing it out to the top defenseman, and he has plenty of space to work with and get an open shot.
Engineers win the faceoff. Down low for York. York takes a shot, saved by Nieto. Back to Burgess. Now Wilson has one blocked by Bodine. Back up to Wilson. Now Grant walking in. Here's Burgess. Oh, has to take it off his skate. He takes a shot that goes off the skate of Gottlieb and out.
Yeah, and Burgess there had a wide open net. If he had just been able to get the puck on his tape, would have been a one-timer.
Had to kick it to himself ultimately, just giving the Bears enough time to set back up on defense. Puck sits on the dot initially, and it comes back out to Wilson at the point. He sends it down. Here's York, back to Burgess on the near side. Back up to Wilson. Wilson walks in. He kind of just had a little bit of a wrister into the slot, but it hit bodies and ends up down ice. 13 seconds left on the man advantage for the Engineers. This is their third power play of the first period. Here comes Whiffen, one last rush opportunity for RPI. He retrieves his own puck along the near side. Power play is over. Back to 5 aside. And Brown gains control and looks to go down ice with it. Gaining the red line is Stillwell. He'll just send it down in, and it's collected by Grant. Grant up for Tierney's near the blue line, but he's unable to control that pass. Burgess then has it taken away from him by Joachim Weberg, the freshman out of Oslo, Norway. RPI now looking to move through the neutral zone. Coming in is Jesper Orval. He fans on a shot, then takes a shot. Put that one to the end boards. And now Brown looking to go the other way with it. Manley takes down Lappin. That allows the Engineers to recover in their own end. Here comes Jesper Orval across the blue line. He looks up, takes a shot, that's blocked. It sits there for Manley, he can't grab it. And now Laverty looking to break the other way. He has Polino on him. Polino tries to take him down, can't. But a nice diving move by Riley stops a shot opportunity. And here comes Tyrannese now quickly the other way. Tries to drop it off for Polino. He can't control it. Now Brown going the other way with it. Berger leaves it back off. There is an opportunity in the slot. The puck's sitting there as Lafferty tried to kind of backhand a one-timer. Now here comes an opportunity the other way for RPI. Here comes Polino. Drops it back off for Tierney's. Tierney's looks to center it, and it goes just through everybody to the near side and picked up by Lafferty. Brown coming the other way now. End-to-end action in this one. Marching the goal scorer, getting himself around Wilson. Now the puck is somewhere near the crease, and Marshall's just going to go ahead and cover that one up as bodies start flying. And some pushing and shoving just to the right of Lyndon Marshall.
Yeah, Prapavesas got shoved into Marshall, and Jared Wilson did not like that at all for Prapavesas or for his goalie. Jared Wilson also doing a great job this game of keeping pucks in at the blue line on the power play. It's one of the more underrated, underappreciated skill sets of a really good defenseman is keeping those pucks in at the blue line, especially when they're sent up the boards.
2:18 left in period number 1. Brown with a 1-0 edge. They win the faceoff. Shot goes wide by Gottlieb, and that'll end up all the way out of the zone. Gottlieb is the one that ends up recovering it in the end. Now an errant pass goes all the way down into the RPI end, and that is icing on the Bears. Certainly an unforced error on their part.
Yeah, the Engineers really are carrying play. They've limited the Brown Bears to 3 shots on net. And unfortunately, just the first one went in, but the Engineers have really carried this play, and especially with the help of 3 power plays.
Face-off won by the Engineers. Owen Stout has it. Now to Samick along the near boards. He pinches in to keep it in. And now Brown coming away with it. Trying to bring it out of the zone is Corcoran. Charlie Corcoran, leading scorer for these Brown Bears, leaves it off for Gottlieb. Or Gutierrez, I should say. And the Engineers are able to clear to center with 1:40 remaining in the first period. Brown controls there. Bird tries to send it down in the zone, and the only one there is TJ Samick. Backhanded over for Richards. Some pushing and shoving along the far boards, and Samick comes away with it. Looks like the referees say they can go ahead and play on some shoving on both sides. I guess they're going to say no harm, no foul. Samick with a quick shot coming the other way with it, and that's glancing off of the right pad of Gavin Nieto. Brown sending it into the RPI end. Will Riley up ahead for Whiffen. Whiffen just offsides.
York just a little bit too quick, a little bit too excited. But the one thing I'd like to talk about now is that the Engineers, their passing has improved drastically from the start of the period, and it's showing as they're getting through the neutral zone extremely quickly and into the offensive zone with confidence.
60 seconds left in the first period. Brown up 1-0 on a goal by Tommy Marchand 20 seconds in. That is the difference in this one. McArdle across the RPI logo. Tries to bring it into the zone. He's held up. Will Riley has it up for Liljegren, who brings it out of the zone. He's hit by McArdle, who's been throwing his weight around here in the first period. Manley up to the red line. He'll just backhand it down into the Brown end. Whiffen collects it. Whiffen goes down along the near boards. No call there. RPI loses control of the puck. Here comes Alex Brink. Brink into the RPI zone. Falls down on his own accord. And it's just easily picked up there by Manley, who will send it out with 17 seconds remaining in the first period. That puck is all the way down into the Brown end. It's now on the stick of Emil Orval. Burgess trying to help out. Now here's Hayhurst. Back up to the point for Wilson with 4 seconds. Hayhurst looks up, has to turn around, doesn't have a shot, and that's going to do it. RPI controlling the last 10 seconds in the attacking zone, but really unable to simply fire one on net and see what happens. And so we end the first period of play, and the Engineers down 1-0. The difference in this one really just being Brown jumping on play from the very beginning, taking a quick shot that ended up in the back of the net.
Yeah. So the Engineers look to push back as they've done so far for the rest of the period. They're going to look to continue to do that for the rest of the game as they lead in the shots on goal category 11-3.
RPI did trail 1-0 last night as well, and they also trailed 1-0 a lot later in the game, as the first goal last night came early in the third period rather than early in the first period. So the Engineers with a lot more time tonight to pull themselves back.
Target 32 by Prescott. Yankee Trails, Rick Furbies, Tri-City Metals, Dunkin' Donuts, Toyota, Greenman Peterson Inc., CDTA, Ben and Jerry's, Ward W. Fame, Boucher and Clark Benefits, Wicked Swamp, Gatherers Granola, Fry Hoppers, Howard Hanna Realty, RPI Chapel and Cultural Center, and
leading the Engineers here at the Fieldhouse. RPI wins the faceoff and sends it down into the Brown end. RPI skating from left to right here in the second period across your radio dial. Brown fighting to bring it into the RPI end now. Prapavesis. He tries to take it away from Tommy Marchin, who has the only goal so far in this one. Gottlieb sends it a bit farther down, but it's picked up by Whiffen. Whiffen tries to send it out and is kept in momentarily by Berger, and now that's out, but onto the stick of Sam Lafferty. Lafferty into the zone. He'll send it down, but takes a hit from Jared Wilson for his trouble. Here comes Prapavesis out of the zone. It's just going to go down ice off of the stick of Troy York. I guess that was technically on net as bounces off Nieto into the backboards. Now Brown sending it down for Corcoran. Corcoran leaving it for Tyler Bird, Columbus Blue Jackets property. Now for Corcoran on the near boards, has it fall off of his stick onto Riley. Riley gains the red line, sends it down into the corner. McArdle, the first one there. He fights for it with Tierney's. Now Polino looking to come away with it. Back up to the point. Kept in for just a moment by Manley, but it ends up with the Bears. Here comes Corcoran across the red line, across the blue line. Moves along the blue line. Has it up for McGuire. Took a big shot that ends up off of the back glass. Now a fight in the near corner. Brett Bowden. He is doing battle down there with Will Riley. Manley comes to help out. Riley's the one that comes away for just a moment. Polino tries to get it out. Stillwell keeps it in. Stillwell gets dumped by Orval, and we're going to have a penalty coming up on Jesper Orval, a boarding call, as Jesper Orval dumped Tony Stillwell, the freshman from Green Island, Wisconsin, as the latter was trying to keep the puck in the zone. And so we will see the Brown power play go to work for the first time this evening.
Yes, first time this evening. And one thing, the Engineers did not come out to that period, come out into this period cold. They came right out and went right into the offensive zone. So good start for the Engineers.
Brown wins the faceoff. McGuire, cross ice pass. Now this is Gutierrez. Back up for McGuire at the point. McGuire takes a shot. That goes off of a stick in front. I think that was Billy Jerry's stick. Brown maintains control. Sent in by Gutierrez. But that ends up with Hayhurst, who powers it down ice. RPI changes their penalty kill. 1:33 left on the penalty to Jesper Orval, as Brown sends it into the attacking zone. Whiffen. Battle for the puck in the near corner of the RPI end. Berger is the one who comes away. McGuire. Cross ice pass. Now back to McGuire. Now he takes a shot. Whistles just wide of the cage. Riley's there to try to pick up, but Brown intercepts. Back up to the top for Gutierrez. Now Berger along the far boards. Cross ice pass to McGuire at the point. McGuire has to kick it to himself. Now he'll try to get himself around Jerry. He takes a shot, saved by Marshall. Rebound comes loose, but that's backhanded up out of the zone, and the Engineers escape once more. 46 seconds left on the Brown power play.
That was a minute 15 shift there by Billy Jerry.
Corcoran moving forward for the Bears, up to the red line, across the blue line. He will dump it in to get around Grant. Prapavesis tries to take control of it along the end boards. Moving back with his Corcoran. He tries to get it back for Stillwell at the point. Stillwell moving along the blue line. Gets it up to Brent Bowden. He sends it down low. Brown cutting to the net. Now Corcoran. Back up for Stillwell. Takes a shot. An open net. Opportunity for Lafferty. He can't convert it. Bird now behind the net. Has it over for Bowden. Back to Stillwell. Now Bowden on the far boards as the power play expires. Corcoran wide open. Takes an opportunity. Shovels into Bird, and Bird just puts it wide. Back to Stillwell at the point. Instead, it's intercepted. Now here comes Emil Orval just out of the box. He has a breakaway opportunity. Goes to his backhand, and he can't put it in. Now here comes Tierney's behind, as York now trying to do something with it. He's just going to send it towards the goal. RPI just kind of swinging at the puck. An opportunity by Emil Orval on the breakaway just out of the box, but ends up going just to the right of Nieto. Now here's Riley up at the point, looking up. Snaps a shot. That's saved by Nieto into the near boards. Brown looking to break out of their own end. Here's Corcoran near his own blue line. Riley forechecking. Gets it out to center, but Hayhurst is the one on it. Now here comes Burgess. Drop pass. Back to Burgess. And that's picked up by the Bears. Here comes Corcoran. He'll just kind of lift it into the zone as into the glove of Marshall. He tries to leave it, but Corcoran was following the play and ends up with the puck. Corcoran drops it off. Shot in the slot is saved by Marshall. Now back to the point, Gottlieb. Gottlieb sends it down low. Lappin lets it run along the near boards, or on the far boards, I'm sorry. Now a shot opportunity by Brink goes off the bottom of the net. And as RPI still fighting to maintain or to grab control of the puck in their own end. Battle for it along the far boards. Engineers come away with it, and that just gets tapped out to center from Emil Orval, who's been out there ever since his power play, or his penalty expired. Now an opportunity for the Bears coming back into the zone and trying to crash the net, but a couple of accommodative errors both on offense and defense ends up with the puck being stopped by Marshall and some more pushing and shoving behind the RPI cage.
Yeah, the Bears are starting to put up some shots now, as they've got 5 just in the first 5 minutes, or excuse me, 3 in the first 5 minutes of this period.
Still 1-0 Brown with 14-14 remaining here in the second period. Lone goal of the game coming just 20 seconds into this one off of the stick of Tommy Marchand. So I have a face-off coming up to the left of Lyndon Marshall in the RPI end. Joachim Wieberg steps in for the Bears. And then the Engineers win the face-off. Richards comes away with it. He crosses the blue line into the attacking zone, takes a shot, sticked away by Nieto to the far boards. Now on top of it is Billy Jerry. Looking for Prapavesis, but too weak of a pass, and it's picked up by Alec Mayer. Mayer dumps it in. Sent along the far boards by Marshall and out. And it is Joe McGuire, the sophomore defenseman, who has to go back and collect it. He has it up for Mayer, who sends it back in again. Once more onto the stick of Marshall behind his own net. He tried to let it run and end up on a stick from the Bears. A quick shot was saved by Marshall. Now RPI going the other way with it. Intercepted by Dodd. Dodd sends it cross ice pass. Now a shot that's saved by Marshall. Brown again with the puck. They come away with it in a quick shot by Dodd. Goes wide to the near corner. Tierney gets it out of the zone. Berger is there, however. He brings it back in, trying to get around Prapavesis. Can't get around both Prapavesis and Wilson, but he still has control along the near board. Stillwell over to Ferrario, who takes a shot that goes just wide. Wilson is just absolutely trying to manhandle Sam Lafferty on the near boards. Polino's the one who ends up with it. Across the red line, across the blue line, into the zone. Pulls up and tries to find Whiffen with it, but it's a 2-on-1 the other way now for Brown. Takes a shot, and it's a save by Marshall on the shot by Berger from the left side. Engineers just going to send that one out, but it ends up in their own bench. And so we should have a face-off coming up in the RPI end with 12:26 left in the second period. Brown up 1-0.
And I'd like to give some props to Billy Jerry, who's done a phenomenal job centering this fourth line all season. He's not really a high scorer, only 4 points in 15 games, but he never really was a high scorer in junior either. He's just doing a great job. He knows how to cycle, and he knows how to take face-offs, and that's what you want from a fourth line center.
RPI wins the face-off in their own end. And Grant gets it out, sent back in quickly, but Brown had to touch up, so Grant's able to take it to the red line. He sends it down ice. Picked up along the far boards by Gutierrez. Corcoran wheels it over to Gottlieb. Gottlieb has to turn back around his own, behind his own net. Trying to get past Whiffen, who's forechecking. He gains the red line and sends it down ice. Samek is the first one there. Runs it along the far boards, trying to find Liljegren, and ends up on the stick of Gutierrez, who's down low. Back up to the point and quickly sent back into the RPI end. Battle for along the near boards now. Corcoran comes away with it along the near boards, walking in, trying to take a shot. Gets around his man, takes a shot. Now the puck is loose in the crease, and Samek comes away. Gets it over to Liljegren, moving quickly the other way with it now. Liljegren gets around his man, but he loses control of the puck. Got himself free into the slot, but lost control. Burgess tried to slam one into the zone, but didn't get enough on it. And Brown's going to send that one all the way back down. Big opportunity there. Goes by the wayside just off the stick of Victor Liljegren, who had the game winner last night. Here's Emil Orval trying to do the same thing, but can't get himself all the way around Joe McGuire, who picks up the puck. And Brown now trying to go with it the other way. Here comes Alex Brink into the zone. Brink, drop pass. Intercepted by Emil Orval, who gets taken down. Penalty coming up on Brown. It's going to be a hit from behind against Nolan Abel. Another penalty for Brown in the attacking zone. That's definitely not one that you want to take. for the Brown Bears, and they're kind of playing with fire here, allowing the Engineers to have this many opportunities in the first half of the game on the power play.
Yeah, and the Brown Bears, the bench was starting to sort of chirp Emil Orval, saying he went down too easily, but I don't know if I agree with that.
It's a second penalty this evening drawn by Emil Orval, certainly not as difficult as the first one where he was absolutely laid out by McArdle. The Engineers back on the power play. They are 0 for 3 tonight on the man advantage. Engineers with it in the attacking zone. Riley has it up for Hayhurst. Now back to Riley at the point. Riley whiffs on it and has to hurry back on defense. 2-on-1 the other way now for Brown. Brink gets it across ice pass. Another tic-tac-toe opportunity, and Brink puts it just wide. Brink had Lappin with him. Lappin sent it right back to him, but he put it just to the right of the net. So a golden shorthanded opportunity goes by the wayside for Brown, and we're looking to make it 2-0. Now RPI the other way. Prapovestis along the far boards. He has it taken off his stick, but another pass intercepted by Emil Orval. Back over to the near side for Hayhurst. Hayhurst has it over to Emil Orval. Now back up to the point for Riley. Riley across to Prapovestis. Prapovestis across ice to Emil Orval. Now a tip shot score! Emil Orval got it over to the stick of Jacob Hayhurst. He puts it in to tie this one up at 1.
That was a beautiful play. The Engineers just going tic-tac-toe. Emil Orval having beautiful vision there to find Hayhurst in the slot right in front of the net. All he had to do was tip it. Went bar down.
Emil Orval creates the power play opportunity by drawing the penalty to Abel, and then comes through with a crucial assist to the stick of Jacob Hayhurst to make this 1-1 pending a potential review, as Hayhurst definitely had his stick up off the ice. I think that's probably what they're going to be looking at, is whether this was played by a high stick. They do have the ice crew out there. That might be the more immediate reason why the referees were kind of motioning quickly. They are announcing the goal, so maybe they're not going to be reviewing this after all.
I don't think they're looking. They don't even have the view box.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot to look at. If there was going to be anything, the stick was not on the ice when it was redirected, but I don't think it was anywhere close to being too high.
That is Emil Orval's 8th assist of the season to tie Todd Burgess for the team lead. And Jacob Hayhurst continues to lead the Engineers in points, now adding his goal total to 6 to match Victor Liljegren for the team lead.
So no review at all. It's a good goal. RPI ties this one up 1-1 with 9:51 remaining in the second period.
And now there's some shoving between Chris Berger and Jesper Orval.
More shoving going on.
Again.
This is a little bit unusual to see right after at a center ice faceoff.
Right.
But regardless, the Bears are the ones that come away with the puck. They gain the zone. Lafferty whiffs on a shot. Still maintains control momentarily until it's taken away by Polino. Now Polino gets up for Jesper Orval. Orval just sends it in on net. Picked up by Nieto, and now he just gets absolutely crashed.
Yeah, they seem to be like targeting Jesper Orval.
Orval got sent careening directly into Nieto. That was a really dangerous move. I didn't see if Orval got hit, but he was certainly.
Ever since the goal, he got a stick jammed into the back of him as he was crashing the net. And this speedy line.
Jesper Orval got shoved directly into Gavin Nieto by Sam Lafferty. There was some pushing and shoving over there before the face-off at center ice.
Yeah, between Orval and Berger.
And that was dangerous. That was a dangerous move by Lafferty, who put Orval directly into his own goaltender, and that looked a little scary from the perspective of Gavin Nieto, who just got hit directly in the knees and went straight down to the ice. He's certainly okay. He's back up and ready to go, but that was not smart by Lafferty in the least. Brown wins the face-off in their own end.
I'm not sure how you don't get a penalty out of that.
It's awful difficult to look at something like that and say that was
clean.
Now RPI doing battle in the Brown end for the control of the puck. Whiffen sends it down deep. Burgess is trying to gain control. Now Manley is deep trying to get control, and it is Bowden who comes away with it. Here's comes the Bears. It's tapped off of the stick by Riley. Now York comes in 1-on-2. Just going to send that one up, and it ends up into the netting and out of play.
And a smart move by Coach Smith to put out his big line of Whiffen, Liljegren, and Tough Yorkie after the speed line of Orval, Tiernies, and Polino was giving fits to the Bears. They tried sort of intimidating that line, and Coach Smith not backing down, putting out his big guns.
Face off in the Brown end, won by the Bears. They'll clear it out to center. Too fast for Lappin, and ends up on the stick of Jared Wilson. Just a reminder, you're listening to live coverage of Engineers Hockey on 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. Tom Reel, Joe Pisacano with you here on the call. In the second period, 1-1 is your score with 8:37 remaining in the middle frame.
We have a whistle here. Maybe offsides. I'm not exactly sure what the call is.
Face-off is going to come just outside of the RPI zone, and Hayhurst and Weberg will settle into the dot. And it's won by the Engineers. Prapavesis gets it up for Wilson, and ends up being picked up by Emil Orval and sent into the zone. Brown comes away with it. Stillwell bring it all the way down ice into the attacking zone. He takes a shot, kick save by Marshall to the far boards. Emil Orval just sweeps that one out of the zone. And Tony Stillwell is being a one-man crew here. He picks it up and sends it back down looking for Trey Dodd. Ends up on net, and Marshall just covers up for the whistle.
Yeah, smart play there by Marshall to just cover up as Alec Meir was coming in all alone, to crashing that all alone. So just smart play there to cover up.
Scoring for the Engineers on their first goal of the game, power play goal at 10:09 of the second period, Jacob Hayhurst. His sixth goal of the year with assists to Emil Orval and Mike Prapavesis. As the Engineers look to move out of their own end, Troy York bounces it off of the dasher. Gottlieb in his own end. Backhand pass to Abel. Now Berger across the blue line, leaves for Lafferty. Lafferty takes a shot, goes just to the right of Marshall to the far boards. Now another shot is blocked. Another shot opportunity by Lafferty goes to the back glass. Now a battle with Tommy Grant. Now Whiffen trying to get the puck away from Lafferty. He's successful along the end boards. York is going to try and shove that one just out. They're going to say they kept it in the zone, but not long enough, as Samick is the one to grab the salvaged puck. He's behind his own net with Grant. Whiffen coming around to control, and he will just leave it again for Samick. Now Grant along the near boards to center. Can't push it forward far enough. Samick back on it. Samick retreats behind his own net. Left for Grant. Some good forechecking pressure by the Bears. Finally getting out is the Engineers. York lost the handle on it. And now Bowden for the Bears, bringing it out, crossing the red line. Ends up with Manley. Riley tries to get it ahead for Jesper Orval. Brought into the zone by Tiernies. Tiernies puts it deeper for Polino. Polino just runs into his man, and Jesper Orval ends up with the puck. Riley takes a quick shot, and Nieto tries to glove it down, but it's picked up by Polino instead. It's a Brown defender without a stick in front. Here is Jesper Orval trying to get around his defender. That is Brett Bowden. Bowden grabs the puck for a moment, tries to let it run around the near boards, but Riley keeps it in, sends it deeper. Here's Tiernies trying to cut to the net. And he just kind of takes a shot. That's saved by Nieto. Nieto now has lost his stick. There's a couple of Brown sticks on the ice. And shot is from point, score by Manley. Nieto without his stick was looking for that puck. And just an opportunistic shot from the point by Charlie Manley makes this 2-1, although Gavin Nieto is raising his arms, trying to ask what happened. I think he might be accusing the Engineers of perhaps stealing his stick.
Yeah, he's making a swinging motion, but the reason that goal went in is because Max Gottlieb was pushing his stick back to Nieto, and Nieto was looking down to try to pick up the stick, and Manley saw that and took advantage of the opportunity, sent an absolute laser right on the net.
One-time shot from near the ECAC hockey logo. And when you're a netminder and you're missing that twig, And it can be difficult to figure out exactly how to position yourself. You're used to having that to lean on and kind of be a little bit of a good balance for you. And
just stabilizes you.
yeah. So the Engineers take the lead here in the second period on a goal by Charlie Manley. It is now 2-1 Engineers. That is Manley's first goal of the season, second of his career. Prapavesis trying to bring it out of his own end. It's up for Richards. We're tapping into the zone. Richards has Jerry with him. Brings it around the net, and a backhanded wraparound attempt goes off the side of the net. And the Bears pick up the puck. Stillwell. Up now to Berger. Berger takes a shot. That's blocked by Grant. Now Grant has it in his skates trying to get it away. It's Berger who comes away with it. It takes a kind of an off-balance shot into the Zamboni doors. And RPI looking to push the puck back out, and they get it back out to center. Battle along the far boards for it. And the Bears are the ones who come away with it. Here comes Lafferty into the zone. Tries to get around Grant. Goes around the net. Still has control. Lafferty back to the blue line, and now he sends it deep for Berger. Berger now over for Marchand, who has the lone goal tonight for Brown. Stillwell takes a shot. That's saved by Marshall. Now another shot by Marchand. That goes off of a stick in front. There's a stick on the ice. I'm not sure who it belongs to.
It's a broken stick.
Everyone seems to have one right now, at least. Marchand keeping it in. Walking in. Takes a shot. Blocked by the defense in front. Good team effort there by the Engineers. And Emil Orval's just going to lift that one all the way out, down ice. Race down ice is won by the Bears. That's icing on RPI.
Yeah, so at least give the Engineers an opportunity to clear the broken stick from inside the circle.
Scoring on RPI's second goal of the evening, an even strength goal at 14:03 of the second period. Charlie Manley with his first goal of the season with the assists to Patrick Polino and Evan Tierney has this game a 2-1 edge for the Engineers as Brown wins the faceoff and a quick shot by Tyler Bird goes over the cage. Bird trying to collect his own rebound back there. Has it taken away by Samek. Samek tries to just bounce it off, but it's kept in by the Bears. Now Burgess in the slot trying to get it out. He is successful. He carries it out of the zone. Sends it down and lands on the stick of Max Gottlieb. Errant pass by the Bears ends up all the way down ice, and now it's Brown's turn to ice the puck with 3:30 remaining in the second period.
Yeah, so the Engineers taking advantage, and they're really just controlling the play like they have all game. And now that they're starting to be rewarded for the fruits of their labor.
Certainly no surge by RPI. They just continue to be doing what they've been doing for much of the last probably 30 minutes of play. There's a quick shot by York off that faceoff, hits bodies in front. Now Corcoran moving out of the zone, across the red line. He sends it down ice. Brown looking to get a change. Manley has it over for Whiffen. Whiffen gets it out of the zone. Gottlieb just sends it down to the stick of Zach Gutierrez. Now Brown looking to do something with it. Gottlieb up towards the point, walks in. Back to Gutierrez. That is now McGuire. Brown just cycling it in the attacking zone. Corcoran along the far boards is held up by Manley. Enough for the Engineers to get the puck out. For just long enough, he comes back in, but the Bears need to touch up. And they do so. Now 2-on-2 the other way. Riley is with York. York brings it into the zone. Now Riley alone down low, takes a shot that just glances off the skate of Joe McGuire.
Riley trying to toe drag.
That's something you like to see from your forwards. Rule Riley has a little bit of offensive prowess to him, but he wasn't able to really show it off there. Now a nice pass to Polino from Tierney's. He brings it into the zone, takes a shot. That goes off the skate of McGuire. Now Abel in the corner. Sends it to McGuire behind his own cage. Polino gets the angle on him and tries to control it, but he goes down. Engineers still controlling it. Now Prapavesis up for Wilson. Wilson whips a shot. Nieto can't find it, but it's just to his right. And the Engineers still maintaining control in the attacking zone. Collision sends Jesper Orval to the ice. Now Orval back up, takes control. Polino trying to track it down, but it's on the stick of McCardle. Brown looking to break out of their own end. Abel Cross ice to McCardle. McCardle brings it into the neutral zone. Brings it into the attacking zone. Takes a shot that's easily blockered away by Marshall. To the near boards for Prapavesis. Now Tiernesis is going to try to shovel that in. Doesn't get very deep as Stillwell intercepts it. Nice pass to Berger. Marchand is following up, trying to collect it, but ends up behind the RPI net. He'll swing it to the far side. Bad pass picked up by Richards. 2-on-1 if he hustles. Richards trying to get out for Jerry. Jerry scores! That was a floating puck that Braley Jerry was able to put to the back of the net on a little bit of a touch pass by John Richards.
And Billy Jerry has been playing phenomenal tonight, especially in the defensive zone. So it's nice to see him get a goal of his own because he's been playing like an absolute dog, forechecking, using that long stick of his to just cause all sorts of havoc for the Brown defense.
Maybe a bit of a miscue by Nieto. Might have gone down a little bit early on that one, maybe thinking that Richards was going to take a shot, but it ended up kind of just being a pass across the crease, and Jerry just able to poke that one to the back of the cage to give RPI a 2-goal lead late here in the second period.
Nice job by the fourth line.
Hayhurst now bring it up. Blocker saved by Nieto. Comes down with Hayhurst. Comes into the corner for Corcoran. Brown just looking to move it out now. They get to the neutral zone and Grant just sends it in. Brown just really looking to survive the rest of this period here. Bears look to break out. Gottlieb. Cross ice pass to Bowden. Bowden sends it into the RPI zone. Weird bounce off of the Zamboni doors left Marshall exposed after he tried to go back and get it, but no damage done ultimately. Centering pass. Oh, that ended up on the side of the net. Kind of a slight crash by Corcoran. Corcoran now looking to do something as now maybe Brown looking to get one back before the end of the period, and Bowden puts one off of the post. Just like that, Brown turns this around and gets some scoring opportunities here in the final minute with 5 seconds left. Another shot by Bird, saved by Marshall. That just gets stick to the side by Hayhurst. And we've got a whistle. And with the Brown player down on the ice, more pushing and shoving. I definitely heard the whistle before the horn. Not sure if they're going to put more time back on the clock, but I think we got an RPI penalty coming up because Bird is down on the ice. Tyler Bird, the Andover, Massachusetts native.
TJ Samek may have just taken him hard to the ice.
It looks like they might be calling a penalty on Samek for it. The whistle certainly came before the horn, but there's not really much of a need to play. Well, it's probably at most 0.4 seconds.
Yeah.
So we're going to see if there's a penalty that's going to be called here. Liljegren is kind of hanging out to see what's going on. Brown doesn't seem to be quite as interested as they're all taking off for the locker room.
Yeah, no doubt they're looking to get as much time as they can to recap and find out what areas they need to work on, as this period was all RPI.
Looks like they are calling a penalty to Samek. Cross-checking is the call, so Brown will begin the third period on the power play. But,
so with a late flurry by the Bears leads to a power play for Brown.
Scoring on RPI's third goal, an even strength goal at 18:49 of the second period. Billy Jerry with his third goal of the season, assists going to John Richards and Owen Stout. So an all-freshman scoring trio for the Engineers on their third goal. It took the RPI Engineers a little bit of time to warm themselves up in this one, but a little bit after the halfway point in regulation, they get themselves on the board. 3 goals in the last 10 minutes of the second period, and that is where we stand as the Engineers have a 3-1 lead heading into the third period. We'll be back momentarily with some ECAC hockey men's scores for our second intermission. You are listening to live coverage of Engineers Hockey on 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy.
Late in the second period, it's Anthony to the other player, 2. Award-winning chili, all off the gold ribs, hand-cut steaks, 10% off with your RPI staff for Snoop ID. The legendary deal on this can only be found at Texas Roadhouse, 105 Wolf Road in Colony. Come on and dine with us at Texas Roadhouse Barbecue.
This is coffee, but with respect. This is what fresh sounds like, looks like, tastes like. Freshly ground, freshly brewed all day, smooth from first sip to last. This is brewed for you, Dunkin' Donuts. This is coffee.
Well, yeah, women's hockey will be home next week at your music house, December 8th and December 9th. And Saturday the 9th is Pack the House Night. And the women's team takes on Clarkson University in Virginia. Now, men's hockey team will be back in action Wednesday night, this coming Wednesday night, against the University of New Hampshire, meantime Wednesday night at 7 o'clock.
Back inside Houston Fieldhouse as we get set to bring you the third period of action between the homestanding Engineers of RPI and the visiting Brown Bears. My name is Tom Reel. I'm joined by Joe Pisacano, and you're listening to all this in your home friend Here's Hockey, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. Before we get started with the third period, I'd like to thank the Rensselaer Union. They provide the funding for WRPI and all the club-related activity at Institute, including WRPI's coverage of RPI hockey, football, and baseball. So a reminder, WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to WRPI.org and pick up WRPI's broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, as long as WRPI is broadcasting. We provide that broadcast on our internet feed. Once again, that is WRPI.org. You can also watch all RPI men's hockey home games on your home for RPI Hockey, RPI TV. Check them out at rpitv.org, or you can surf on over to YouTube and search RPI TV.
So the Engineers will start the period shorthanded with teammate TJ Samick going to the box for his cross-checking penalty on Tyler Bird.
Brown is 0 for 2 on the man advantage so far this evening. RPI 1 for 4 themselves. That puck ends up on Nieto and in the net. Boy, just a terrible play by Brown. Off the opening faceoff, puck just ends up down ice.
Prapavessis just immediately sent it down ice, and Tyrannese crashed the net, and to his award.
The puck was just sitting there in the crease, and Nieto was just trying to dig it out, and Tyrannese just comes over and pokes it in behind him. So just 9 seconds into the period.
Kind of like how the Bears started the game.
Yeah, RPI with their first shorthanded goal of the year off the stick of Evan Tyrannese. Certainly not the way that this period was lining up to begin, especially if you're Brown. They were looking to start it pretty much the same way they started the game, and instead they find themselves down 3 early here in the third period. Strange turn of events. This is a strange goal from start to finish, really.
Yeah, it's a good goal for Tyrannese, his 5th of the season.
Anyway, Brown now needs to try to pick up the pieces from that and try to pull themselves back into this. Down by 3, they move in. Pass across for Bird goes to the near boards. York trying to push it out. Lafferty just grabs it and sends it into the far corner. RPI still trying to get it out. Whiffen can't get it. Now Lafferty can't control. He'll have to go on the near boards to collect it. Comes around to the far boards for Corcoran. Now here's Lafferty on the near boards. Back up to the point. Stillwell takes a shot. Saved in front by Marshall. And that's pushed out by Wilson as RPI changes their penalty killers. 45 seconds left on the penalty to TJ Samick. Jatari up ahead. Brown pushing into the attacking zone now. Picked up by Tyrannese. He tries to rifle it out, but it's kept in by Jatari. Jatari across looking for McGuire. He shoots it wide. McGuire back at the point now. He sends it in, and that was Marchand trying to tip it. He has Brown's lone goal tonight. Now an opportunity down low. Marchand takes a rebound opportunity. That's off the pads of Marshall into the corner. 9 seconds left, and the puck just squirts out of the zone. That should be enough to kill out the rest of it, especially now that it's sent all the way back down ice by the Engineers. That was Billy Jerry sending that down ice. So no harm for RPI on that power play. In fact, they widened their lead as the Bears put a shot on goal that's easily stopped and saved by Marshall.
And Lyndon Marshall has looked very strong here to start this next period, start this third period, as he's seeing the puck go right. He's following the puck from the stick right into his mitt.
Scoring on RPI's 4th goal of the game, a shorthanded goal at 10 seconds of the third period. Evan Tyrannese, his 5th goal of the season, with the lone assist going to Mike Prapavessis. And that's really all there was. Tyrannese won the faceoff, back to Prapavessis, send it down. Tyrannese poked it in eventually. Puck down in the RPI end. Brown looking to set something up with it, but RPI's defense swarms very nicely. Abel comes away. He takes a shot at the top of the slot. That's off the skate of Burgess. Now back to McCarl at the point. He's trying to walk in. Penalty coming up on RPI. And it looks like that was touched by the Engineers, so the penalty being enforced now, a roughing call.
It's going to be on Brown, actually.
Oh, they're calling on the Bears instead. Okay.
Abel, because he just took Burgess to the ice in the far corner.
Odd that they allowed them to play with the puck for a couple of seconds afterwards then,
Yeah.
because that was the indication was that it was probably on the Engineers, but instead roughing the call against Nolan Abel. He's already taken a penalty this evening. In fact, so on his penalty, the Engineers broke onto the score sheet for the first time on a goal by Jacob Hayhurst.
Yeah, the Engineers taking advantage of the power plays that are being gifted to them by the Brown Bears.
And these have been some really rough penalties that Brown is taking, too. That's another penalty in the attacking zone for the Bears. That's the 3rd one for them tonight.
And they just haven't really been necessary.
RPI trying to establish themselves in the attacking zone. That puck ended up all the way down ice on the clearing attempt by the Bears. So RPI looking to set back up, trying to get around a forecheck. It's Hayhurst. Up for Riley. Riley brings it into the zone. Riley gets around his man, Jateri. Now Riley behind the net, not sure what to do with it. He'll just dump it for Liljegren. Now back to the point for Riley. Prapavesis along the near boards. Prapavesis decides to go in. Now he'll pass to Riley. Riley takes a shot, and that's right into the glove of Gavin Nieto.
Yeah, trying to get it onto the stick of Liljegren for the tip. Good thinking there by Will Riley.
RPI is certainly looking for more here on the power play. They're not content to sit here with a 3-goal lead. If you're an RPI fan, you have to be bullish on their chances in this one. They came out firing on the shorthanded opportunity. Now they've won a face-off in the attacking zone. Grant steps up to the top of the circle. That's put on net by Whiffen, but it ends up to the side of the net. And now the battle for it is along the near boards. Burgess is down there with Dodd. Now it comes free to Wilson. Back to Grant. Grant will ride it along the end boards to Burgess on the near side. Looking for York. York tries to push it forward. He goes down. Now Grant sent it back in looking for York. Picked up by McGuire. McGuire's going to try to move it. He's now battling with Burgess and Dodd helping him out. Whiffen comes in to help. Still trying to dig it out along the near boards. York trying to help get it out, as is Josh McCardle, who eventually snatches it and wings it down ice. 25 seconds left on the penalty to Abel. Here is Wilson. Has it up for Tierney's. Tierney's cross-ice pass to Polino into the zone. Tries to spin around but loses control of it. It's picked up instead by Jesper Orval. Orval backhands it to Tierney's behind the net. Tierney's has it taken off his stick by Ferrario. Now Manley, who has a goal tonight, keeps it in as the power play expires. RPI still with the puck in the zone. Riley down low, bring it in. Getting around the net, swings around, takes a shot that is weak, but it goes off the skates of Stillwell. Now Stillwell dumps his man behind the cage. That's Jesper Orval. Now Brown finally breaking out the other way with it. Across the red line, they send it down in. Manley backhands to Tierney's. He backhands to Riley behind his own net. Forecheck pressure coming in from Bird. Make that Abel. Kept in by the Bears.
They're starting to get
swinging around Gottlieb. He takes a shot that is blocked by Manley. He has a headband pass looking for Polino. Polino didn't quite have the angle on Gottlieb to get away for a breakaway opportunity. Good defensive play by Max Gottlieb. Penalty coming up on RPI. Lafferty moving forward. Brown gains the zone. Shot saved by Marshall, and it's touched up by Billy Jerry for the whistle.
It'll be interesting to see what this call is.
It's looking like Owen Stout. Well,
Owen Stout's going to his own
he said to the bench.
Polino, something must have happened on the breakaway.
Tripping is the call. Not really certain where there was tripping. It might have been after he and Gottlieb went over towards the corner. But Brown back to the power play. They absolutely must get something here if they're going to get themselves back into it. Lafferty has some room to work. Takes a shot. Bounces free. And that squirted just wide. Grant tried to control it, but he ends up shepherding it over into the corner instead. Now that's just going to get lifted up and out. 1:41 remaining on the penalty to Polino. Brown on their 4th power play opportunity of the evening. They're 0 for 3 so far. Lafferty brings it out of his end. Tries to cross into the zone, but it's picked up by Whiffen, and he rifles it down ice. Still nothing doing for Brown on this man advantage. Corcoran brings it into the neutral zone. Now back for Stillwell. Stillwell to Lafferty. Now Bowden is going to give chase in the RPI end, but the first one to it is Jared Wilson. He just sends it down ice. Still nothing doing for Brown on the power play. Minute into it. And that's going to go all the way down. They're going to say it was tipped. That was almost going to be icing on Brown, which would have just further compounded their issues. Billy Jerry's just going to send that one all the way down ice. Really nothing at all going on.
Engineers are all over the ice on this penalty
It's just
kill.
Brown just cannot. They can't get 2 passes together, unfortunately. Bears bring it into the zone. Now they have it at the point. Now they're getting themselves set up. Here is Gutierrez. Takes a shot. And I think that might have been saved by Marshall into the corner. Gutierrez across. Now back to Gutierrez. Takes a shot, and that's just to the left of Marshall, picked up by the Bears. Back up to the point for Gutierrez. Takes another shot. That hits his own man in front. It's loose in the slot, but picked up by Hayhurst. He'll bring it out on his own. He gets brought down. That's a penalty. And he knew it right away as Alec Mayer looked up to the ceiling that he was going to get called for that one. I'm not sure if that was entirely his doing, but he at least started it, and that's usually enough to be the one to get the call without the additional penalty for whatever you want to call it.
And just to go back to the penalty kill of the Engineers, the reason that Brown was not able to set up in the zone is because of the defense of the Engineers. They've really done a phenomenal job of just holding them in at the blue line, and then when they do get the puck in, they immediately clear the zone and just keep players out of the crease.
So 9 seconds of 4-on-4 to be followed by an RPI power play. Brown wins the face-off in their own end. They bring it quickly down ice. Lappin tries to take a shot from the near side and whiffs on it. Now he brings it right to the net. Puck is loose near the face-off circle. Brown comes away with it. McArdle, now Brown being short-handed, but controlling the zone. Engineers looking to get it away. Now they're just going to put it over to McArdle. For a second, I thought Brown was going to play as they were short-handed and just waste some more time, but still pushing forward with it. Now the Engineers with possession on the power play. Here comes Burgess into the zone. Burgess cuts to the net. McArdle gave him a lot of space to operate with. Now Burgess on the far side. Up to Wilson at the point. Now Prapavesis on the near side. Back up to the point for Wilson. Into the slot for Whiffen. Backhands it towards the net. That's back up to Prapavesis. A shot by Wilson goes off of Brink and into the crowd.
And the Engineers really just asserting their dominance here on this power play. They're out-skating the opponent completely, and it's resulting in several opportunities down low in the slot for guys like Orval.
Boy, Burgess really just looked like he had another gear that McArdle just couldn't catch up to when he was bringing it into the zone, too. It almost looks like RPI just has a lot more
energy,
gusto right now. Face-off is eventually picked up by the Bears. They bring it out of the zone. Taken by Prapavesis. Now Hayhurst takes it into the attacking zone. He gets held up along the far boards by Gutierrez. Riley at the blue line. Backs up to the near boards. Looks up. Cross ice pass to Hayhurst. He has to kick it to himself. Spins around. Looking to take a shot. Does take a shot, and that's wide, but picked up by Prapavesis on the near boards. Over to Emil Orval. Back over to Hayhurst. Riley calls for it, takes a shot, goes just wide of the net, and it's picked up by Brown along the near boards. Here comes Bird. He has a man with him with 9 seconds left on their penalty kill. Bird will just shovel it over into the corner. Prapavesis is just going to go ahead and regroup as the RPI power play expires. They are now 1-4-6 on the man advantage. Tierney's flicks into the zone. Taken by Ferrario. He sends it up ice too far for Mir, and that will be icing on the Bears.
One thing to note, Jacob Hayhurst, who got hit behind the play off of the puck, went right to the bench and right to the trainer, took his gloves off, and is now holding his arm. Appears to be in some discomfort. Talking to his captain, Liljegren, now.
We'll keep an eye on him as things go by. Engineers win the face-off. Samick tries to send that one through traffic, ends up having it bounce off the Zamboni doors. Polino working with it down there, trying to get away from Stillwell. Now Tierney spins around, takes a shot. That's off the stick of Nieto. And Tierney's just going to shovel that one deeper, and it's picked up by Ferrario. Up ice pass for Trey Dodd. He'll try to bring it into the zone. Has it taken off of his stick. Samick pokes it to the near boards for Jesper Orval. Kept in by Weberg. Now a D-to-D pass for Grant, and Polino will shovel it into the zone from the red line. Brown looking to break out. Weberg loses control of it, and it's picked up by Richards, who backhands it nicely to Jesper Orval. Tries to get around his man Ferrario. Gets taken down, no call. Just a good move by Jesper Orval, but also some good back checking by Ferrario there. And then Brown ices the puck with 9 minutes and 11 seconds remaining in regulation. RPI still holding on to a 3-goal lead. It's 4-1.
Yeah, Jesper and Emil Orval both have very good stick handles, and Emil Orval, another thing that he has done great in this game is he's been able to pass to players without even looking at them. He knows they're there, and he trusts them, and he'll just send a pass behind that really no defense is expecting, and it leads to usually an open shot.
Jacob Hayhurst back on the RPI bench. He looks like he's doing okay. Face-off is won by RPI. Manley, D-to-D pass for Riley. Takes a big shot, and that's just flicked away and into the netting by Nieto. Had to be sharp on that one. Riley is really just letting him rip here in the third period.
Yeah, and that's a great thing if you're a coach. You want to see your guys continue to put pressure, especially how they're continuing to forecheck so relentlessly. They're not employing a sort of bend but don't break with the lead sort of strategy. They're just continuing to push aggressively in the offensive zone. And sometimes the best defense is a good offense. And that's the strategy the Engineers are employing here in the third period.
Ice crew is out, so quick stat pack for you. RPI leading faceoffs 23-18 in this one. Also lead in block shots just slightly 20-19. Engineers are 1 for 6 on the power play. Brown is 0 for 3. The Bears scored the first goal in this one just 20 seconds in, but since then, scoring-wise, it has been all RPI, 4 straight goals, starting with one at 10:09 of the second period. And their most recent one came just 10 seconds into the third period, a shorthanded goal by Evan Tierney's. Hayhurst, Manley, Jerry, and Tierney's your scores for the Engineers. Tommy Marchin, the lone goal scorer for the Bears. Face-off in the Brown end, won by the Bears. They look to move forward, knocked out of midair by Riley. Now an opportunity for the Bears here, and they score. Tommy Marchin ended up with the puck on his stick all alone. A nice pass through the slot. He gets his second of the game, and RPI is now seeing their lead cut to 2. It's 4-2.
Yeah, Lyndon Marshall, he followed that play. He just couldn't get his glove up quick enough, but he had good positioning on the shot, even though it was across ice. Finally,
some good transition work from the Brown Bears, who won the faceoff in their own end and quickly moved down ice. And some good side-to-side passing from the Bears ends up on the stick of one of their better goal scorers, Tommy Marchin, who now has both goals tonight for the Brown Bears.
Marshall may have even gotten a piece of that.
So the challenge has been laid down for the Engineers. Now still with a pretty decent lead, but a 2-goal lead can disappear rapidly if you let it. So it is incumbent upon RPI to see this one out, and they might have an opportunity here now as Liljegren draws one behind the Brown cage. That is Tommy Marchin, Brown's goal scorer, heading off for what looks like it might be a boarding or a hit from behind.
They're going to send Victor to the box too.
So they're going to say that Liljegren perhaps made more of the hit than was really there. That would make the most sense, since Liljegren was the one that went down behind the goal. So they could be calling this one an embellishment on the senior from Stockholm, Sweden. We'll wait to get the actual call. But so as it is, they're going to be skating 4-on-4. RPI wins the draw in the Brown end. Burgess turns it around for Prapavessis. Boarding is the call on Marchin. And we'll see if it's an embellishment call on Liljegren as Brown moves forward. Bird along the near boards. As Gutierrez waiting for him at the point. He's calling for it, but Bird just tries to knock him off the puck.
They're going to give Liljegren an embellishment penalty as well.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like it was going to be at the time when they called the guy that went down. That's usually going to be an embellishment. RPI picking it up in their own end. Wilson. Looks like he's going to bring it in himself. He's just going to whip that one on and goes over the cage. Ends up on a stick of Burgess. Now back for Grant, and I'm sure RPI is willing to just kill some more time here, as Brown not forechecking very strongly on the 4-on-4. Polino brings it into the attacking zone along the far boards. He's trying to get himself around McGuire. McGuire comes away with it. Up for Corcoran along the RPI bench into the zone. Corcoran pulls up. Pulls into the slot, takes a shot, saved by Marshall, drops right down to him, but he can't control the rebound. And now it's along the near boards, taken by Grant. Grant to center. Has it to Polino. Polino winds one up and takes a shot, ends up in the near corner. Whiffen can't keep it in, and RPI will have to touch up. Taken by McGuire, across for Ferrario. Anea Ferrario tries to find Lafferty. Engineers try to clear the zone, but it's intercepted by Corcoran. Now Stillwell on the far boards, has it taken off of his stick by Whiffen. Whiffen moving forward, can have a 2-on-1 if he can hurry. Has York with him, gets over to York. York backhand, saved by Nieto. Goes behind the cage. Whiffen picks it up, looking for York. York just sends it out of the zone as he's looking for somebody at the point, but there's only 4 players on the ice, so not quite as wise to just kind of do it blindly, but Marchand and Liljegren are back, so we're back to 5-a-side with 6:18 remaining. Brown crashing again, looking for another one, loose puck in front. Where is it? RPI comes away with it. Moving up ice is John Richards. He had a key assist earlier today. Tried to feed Liljegren, ends up being tapped away by Nieto. Penalty coming up, looks like it's going to be on the Engineers. A tripping call. I think this one's going to be going against Richards for taking down McCardle. Or is it going to be Liljegren, who just came out of the box?
And the fans calling for an embellishment on McCardle.
It's going to be Victor Liljegren, who almost literally just came out of the box on the embellishment call that he just had. Instead, he's sitting down once more on a tripping call with 6:02 remaining in the third period. So another golden opportunity now for the Brown Bears. They've brought themselves back within 2, and now a man advantage with 6 minutes left. It is certainly incumbent upon them to make the Engineers pay for this particular mistake. RPI wins the face-off in their own end and just gets whipped down ice by Tommy Grant. So yet another weak start to the power play by the Bears, who had a really atrocious power play their last time out. Here comes Lafferty. Brings it into the zone, tries to get himself around Hayhurst. Can't do it. Bowden ends up with it. He brings it into the zone. Bowden sends it behind for Bird. Tyler Bird looks up and finds Brendan Corcoran. Now back up to the point for Stillwell. Corcoran at the top of the face-off circle, walking in, looking around. Stillwell now at the point, back to Corcoran. Corcoran fakes a shot. Back to Stillwell. Stillwell fakes a shot. Down low. And Bird comes away with it behind the net. Back up to the point on the blue line for Stillwell. He walks in. Skating in. Behind the net is Bowden. Back to Stillwell on the near boards. Brown holding the zone fairly well now. 1 minute left on the power play. Now on the far boards. Down low for Bird. Bird takes a shot, and that ends up behind the net. Grant is trying to jump on it. RPI trying to get themselves out of the zone here so they can clear out these penalty killers. And that's finally going to be lifted out by Jacob Hayhurst. And RPI able to at least change 2 of their penalty killers. Hayhurst is stuck out there. And a quick shot is scored on. Just like that, Brown brings it back into the zone. And a quick wrister ends up in the back of the cage. Looked like that was Tommy Marchand scoring his third of the game. So a hat trick for the junior from Algonac, Michigan. He has Brown almost single-handedly still in this one. It's now 4-3.
Yeah, draws the penalty and scores the goal on it. So the Engineers with tired legs out there after Brown was able to establish themselves in the zone.
Hayhurst got it out of the zone, but only for a moment, and he himself was not able to get himself back on the ice. He himself was not able to get out, so it's nail-biting time for the Engineers as they've given up 2 of their 3-goal lead. It's now 4-3 with 4:20 remaining in regulation, and Brown certainly with the initiative. Bears send it into the attacking zone. Wilson is there to pick it up. Prapavesis tries to push it forward for Whiffen, but too far, and it's icing on the Engineers. And this is kind of the moment where you start to worry a little bit about RPI, as they've made a couple of errors here late in the third period, and they've let Brown right back into this one.
Yes, and Brown has not won a game after trailing going into the third period, and the Engineers certainly don't want to be the first.
Back up to the point, a shot goes wide of the cage. Lafferty is there to pick it up for Brown. He goes behind the net, has to battle with York, and there's an error on the Bears' part as McGuire's unable to keep it in, hops over his stick. And Gutierrez trying to push it back in. RPI there to bring it back to center. Liljegren's going to get over the red line and just send it down. 3:43 now remaining in regulation. RPI clinging to a 4-3 edge. Lafferty brings it across the red line, across the blue line, pulling up, looking to the top of the slot, takes a shot, goes just wide. Rebound is free in the crease. Shot and a goal by Brown. That is Chris Berger, who picked up the rebound. RPI's defense looking all kinds of out of sorts. And in just a few minutes' time, RPI goes from being up by 3 to being tied. It's 4-4 as Chris Berger connects on his first collegiate goal to knot this one back up.
All right, here we go. And so now the Engineers looking to push back. J.K. Hurst out on the faceoff. He usually has a little bit of a bump after giving up a goal against.
Brown has really asserted themselves here in the last 5 minutes or so, and they've just completely eaten up the edge that the Engineers had, and it is back to being square. RPI certainly was not thinking they'd be in this situation, especially after that goal early in the period, but Brown with all of the initiative and all of the momentum now. The Engineers just looking to do anything that they can to get themselves back into this game. Puck is down in the Brown end. RPI looking to find a way to finally control the puck. They haven't had a whole lot of control in the last couple of minutes. Emil Orval trying to establish, but he's gobbled up by Bowden, and McArdle comes away with it. Puck out to center. Whiffen is there to pick it up. He's just going to backhand it into the zone. Brown now with the puck in their own end, looking to break out. They do have the momentum. Can they take the lead? Here comes Tim Lappin into the zone. Takes a wide angle shot that goes to the side. Troy York picks it up. He has wheels but doesn't have a whole lot working with him. He does have a trailer in Liljegren. Takes a shot that deflects off a defender's stick and up out of play. Just to recap the last 3 goals for Brown, they came pretty fast and furious. 11:07 of the third period, even strength goal by Tommy Marchin. His 5th of the year from Chris Berger made it 4-2 RPI. Marchin then scored on the power play at 15:27. The assist to Charlie Corcoran and Zach Gutierrez made it 4-3 RPI. And then Chris Berger, his first collegiate goal from Sam Lafferty at 16:33, has this game tied up at 4. Here comes Lafferty across the blue line, leaves it for Corcoran. Or I'm sorry, that's Marchin. Up for Ferrario at the point. He gets hit off the puck by Liljegren. It's Wilson who grabs it. Cross for Prapavesis. Up to Liljegren. Now his pass to Wilson is off, or just kind of hops over his stick, so a little more sloppy play by RPI, who's still trying to break themselves out of their zone. Wasn't that long ago on that 4-on-4 that RPI was just kind of trying to kill time. Now Prapavesis is behind his own net as we approach 90 seconds left in regulation. Engineers need to set something up to get themselves going here. Here's a shot by Polino that goes off the pads of Nieto. Polino grabs the puck behind the net. Ferries it over to Stout. Owen Stout is battling with Gutierrez in the near corner. Tierney is trying to help it get free. Lafferty is trying to push the puck as well. He gets it out. Brink coming into the zone has Manley on him. Manley is going to block that shot. 1 minute left in regulation. Gutierrez along his own blue line. Tries to push it forward. Puck ends up on the RPI bench. And a nice little catch there by Dan Jewell.
Yeah, just snagged it out of the air. And the Engineers starting to have a little bit of a resurgence here after that goal against.
53.6 seconds left. This game is tied at 4. Face-off won by the Bears. They seem to have the momentum and the initiative. Point for McArdle. McArdle takes a shot. That bounces uncomfortably over the net. And it's Prapavesis who collects the loose puck. RPL can go the other way with it. 34 seconds left. Bad pass. Picked up by Hayhurst. Hayhurst brings it into the zone. Hayhurst looking to cut to the net. Has an opportunity. Loses control, but it's picked up by Burgess, who puts it wide. Now another opportunity as it's sent in. Emil Orval can't control it. Hayhurst trying to collect it. 16 seconds left. RPI pushing late here. And Hayhurst gets taken down. No call. An opportunity for Brown the other way now. 3-on-2 if they hurry up. They can't get there in time. But it's Bowden putting it to the top of the slot. 2 seconds. Shot. And just stick to the side by Marshall. So that is how it ends in regulation, 4-4. Just a reminder, you are listening to live coverage of Engineers Hockey, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy, Tom Reel, Joe Pisacano with you on the call, and we are getting some extra hockey tonight. Not something that you were interested in if you were RPI about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, and the Engineers smartly so playing till the end of regulation, just skating hard all the way through, because last night Penn State scored a buzzer beater goal to tie it up and take it into overtime against Ohio State. So,
and of course RPI knows all too well the final second goal, as they fell at Niagara this year on a goal that literally went in the very last second of overtime. So it's can be the difference between a tie and a loss, or a win and a tie.
Yeah, if you're the Engineers, you don't want to see that outcome again tonight. So
had a change on the Chris Berger goal. The primary assist is now going to Tommy Marchin, who now has
4 points.
4 points tonight. He's been a one-man wrecking crew, and RPI really doesn't have much of an answer for him. So this, as we mentioned at the outset, is a Brown team that hasn't really rolled over for anybody this year. They have the capability to run with pretty much anybody in the league so far, or at least that's what they have shown. This is a team with a lot of strong leadership in their upperclassmen. Guys like Tommy Marchin, guys like Tyler Bird, Josh McArdle, who's been active both offensively and defensively, really. He's played a real grinding game. Sam Lafferty, the Pittsburgh Penguins draft selection. And this is also a Brown team that's missing one of its top forwards. Max Willman is out of the lineup this weekend. He's a prospect that Buffalo Sabres fans are actually kind of looking forward to seeing what he might be able to do in a Buffalo uniform in the near future. So this is not a Brown team that's bereft of talent by any stretch of the imagination. And they've certainly shown their capability in coming back from a 3-goal deficit in the final 10 minutes of this one to tie it up. Overtime has begun. Engineers trying to control the initial face-off. They eventually do. This is Troy York bringing across the red line, across the blue line. Next goal wins. Shot by York goes off of the pads in Nieto and over to the far boards, picked up by Brown. Here they come in 2-on-2. McGuire, he kind of just lofts it towards Marshall. He sticks it aside. Prapavesis is trying to shelter the puck away from Chris Berger, who has the game-tying goal at the moment. Here comes Wilson out of his own end. Up for Whiffen. Brady Whiffen is all alone as his team is changing behind him, and he loses control. Brown going the other way with it. Polino takes down his man. Up ahead for Manley. Manley kicks it to himself. Tries to get it for Jesper Orval. I'm sorry, that's Polino. To move it out of the zone. Still can't get it out of the zone as Bird keeps it in and kicks it low. Bowden now doing battle with Manley. Tierney picks it out. Tierney moves it ahead. Moving up ice is Jesper Orval. Orval into the zone. Now to Riley. Riley skating in. Opportunity for Jesper Orval. Takes a shot. Saved by Nieto. Up for Riley at the point, who just sends it in. It hits a couple of bodies in front. Now Brown has an opportunity to go the other way. 3-on-2 if they hurry. Pass across, and it's in the net! Brown wins it 5-4 in overtime on a bouncing puck situation. A little bit of an odd man rush, not really a full one. But a stinging loss for RPI, absolutely. As Brown gets the last 4 goals in this contest to win in quite impressive fashion in overtime, 5-4.
Yes, not much you can say there for the Engineers as they came out strong in the overtime period. They had a lot of pressure.
Just got to see who that ended up going off of. That might have actually gone off of an RPI skate in the end, but it's just a matter of throwing the puck on net and crashing the net and seeing what you can make happen. And Brown played that one to absolute perfection. So in many ways, the Bears absolutely stealing this one. RPI, I think, at one point in the third period probably thought they had 2 points in the back of their pocket. A little bit of lackadaisical play in the middle of the third period let Brown back into it, and they certainly cashed in very impressive fashion. We'll have to see who ends up getting credited with that final goal. Tim Lappin is going to be credited with it. I'm not sure that he was the final person to touch it, but regardless, it was his initiative that ended up getting that one to the back of the cage. Big win for the Brown Bears here this evening. You really have to tip your cap to them because they did not give up in the slightest. And a little bit of a hug from the two former teammates, Nieto and Burgess, at center ice as the Engineers salute the crowd. But this is a crowd that has to be going home very disappointed and shocked by really what they've seen.
Yeah, you can't be happy with that if you're Coach Smith. You want your team to play a full 60 minutes, and they certainly did not do that tonight, evidenced by the scoreboard. They had control of the game pretty much, except for that one little hiccup to start the game. They had control all throughout, all across the ice, all 200 feet. Even when they were in their defensive zone, you felt confident watching them play. And then just I'd say about the last 10 minutes or so, the Browns just took over.
Yeah, the last 10 minutes of the third period were pretty much all Brown Bears, and that's probably the last portion of the game that you want to be giving anything up to your opponents. Even if you've got a solid lead as the Engineers had, they were up by 3 with 9 minutes left in this game, and they end up losing in overtime. That's a bitter pill to swallow, and it's absolutely, when you look back on the season at lost opportunities, this game is going to pop back up no matter where RPI finishes. If they finish behind any team by 1 or 2 points, and this being the ECAC, they almost certainly will, they're going to cast their gaze back to this game and say, this was one of the lost opportunities of the season. And
they missed out on the sweep.
And looking back to last season, games like this can have a negative impact on a team's psyche. They lost to Yale in a similar fashion last year at home in a game that they kind of had locked up and ended up. They had a 2-goal lead in the last minute of the game and ended up losing in overtime, and it's not good for the psyche going forward. They're going to need to bounce back quickly. They've got a game this coming Wednesday against New Hampshire, a non-conference game, but really getting back on the ice quickly might be a good opportunity for the Engineers to try and put this one behind them if they can come out with a positive impact to close out the first semester of play this season. The scoring on the Brown goal, overtime winner for Tim Lappin, his second goal of the season, with the assists going to Josh McCardle and Brent Bowden at 1:35 of overtime, and that was all she wrote. Brown scored the last 4 goals of this game, all coming after the 11-minute mark of the third period.
So offensive engineer of the game is going to go to Emil Orval, who had an assist on the Hayhurst goal, and also he drew a couple penalties tonight, and that resulted in some points for the Engineers. And defensive engineer of the game is going to go to Charlie Manley, who did a great job clearing the puck, getting the puck out of his defensive zone and up into the neutral zone for the Engineers to skate down with.
Thank you, Joe. I will run down the scoring for tonight and some of the statistics, and then we'll say some goodbyes and get out of here. 9 goals overall in this game tonight. The first one scored by the Brown Bears just 20 seconds into the game. Tommy Marchand with his 4th goal of the year at even strength. With the assists going to Chris Berger and Max Gottlieb, made a 1-0 Brown. RPI got themselves on the board midway through the second period with a goal at 10:09 on the power play. Jacob Hayhurst, his 6th goal of the season from Emil Orval, and Mike Prapavesis made it 1-1. Engineers seized the lead at 14:03 of the second period. An even strength goal by Charlie Manley, his first of the year, with assists to Patrick Polino and Evan Tyrannese. That made it 2-1 RPI. Billy Jerry added to the lead at 18:49 with his 3rd goal of the season. Even strength goal from John Richards and Owen Stout made it 3-1 RPI. Engineers jumped on Brown early in the third period as a power play was beginning for the Bears. A shorty from Evan Tierney, his 5th goal of the season. RPI's first shorthanded goal of the season. Lone assist going to Mike Prapavesis. Made it 4-1. RPI looked to be in cruise control at that point, but Brown would score the next 4 goals of the game, starting at 11:07 of the third period. Tommy Marchand with the 2nd of the game, 5th of the season. An even strength goal. Made it 4-2 with the assists going to Chris Berger and Matt Gottlieb as on the first goal. Then at 15:27, Marchand completed his hat trick on the power play, his 6th goal of the season from Charlie Corcoran and Zach Gutierrez. Made it 4-3 RPI. And then Berger scoring his first collegiate goal at 16:33 of the third period. A little bit over a minute later, made it 4-4 at even strength with Marchand and Sam Lafferty on the assists there. And then in the overtime period, Tim Lappin with the game winner. Just a puck that was essentially just flipped on net. A couple of crashing players, and it ended up in the back of the cage. Josh McCardle and Brent Bowden with the assists on the game winner. Power play this evening, Brown was 1 for 4 on the man advantage. Engineers 1 for 6. RPI led total shots on goal 31-30 in this one. Gavin Nieto picks up the win in net for the Brown Bears. His overall record now at 4-4-0. He made 27 saves in this one. Lyndon Marshall, the hard luck loser in net for the Engineers. He falls to 2-5-1 on the season. He made a total of 25 saves in this contest. I'd like to thank Oliver back at the station for getting us out on the air and keeping us there. I'd also like to thank Perry Lascaris for keeping us very well secured with stats throughout the game. Our next WRPI broadcast will be coming from the friendly confines of the Houston Fieldhouse on Wednesday, December 6th. As the New Hampshire Wildcats come to town for a non-conference game against the RPI Engineers. This is this coming Wednesday midweek game, the final game of the fall semester, more or less. They do have another couple of games coming up in late December, but the final game before the winter break takes place. Puck drop for that game on Wednesday, the 6th, will be 7 p.m., so expect an on-air time for us of 6:45 p.m. That will just about do it for us here at the Fieldhouse. For Joe Pisacano, my name is Tom Reel. Final score, RPI loses a heartbreaker in overtime, 5-4 against the Brown Bears. You have been listening to live coverage of Engineers Hockey on 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy.